Sometimes it's not pain that screams first. It's a soft crack when getting up from a chair, a slight stiffness that forces you to stretch more than usual, or that stair step that suddenly feels higher than before. These small signs, often ignored, are like whispers from the body, subtle warnings that our joints are asking for attention. And as the years go by, listening to these signals can make the difference between living with freedom or with limitations. Today we're going to talk about 7 signs that your joints are weakening. But more than just listing symptoms, let's reflect together. How can we act wisely in the face of the natural aging of our body? This is where Stoic philosophy comes in. It teaches us that we can't control what time brings, but we can control how we respond to it. And by identifying the signs early, we can make more conscious, stronger, and fairer decisions for ourselves. So take a deep breath. This video is not a warning meant to create fear. It's an invitation to clarity. Let's listen together to what the body has been trying to tell us. Have you ever noticed that when you wake up, your movement seems slower, as if your body were rusty? A bit of morning stiffness is normal, especially as we age. But when that feeling lasts more than 30 minutes, it's a clear sign that something is not right with your joints. This prolonged stiffness may indicate chronic inflammation, such as rheumatoid arthritis or even the beginning of osteoarthritis. And interestingly, many people get used to this. They think it's just part of aging, but the body speaks, and listening early can prevent more serious complications later on. Imagine Mrs. Lucia, 67 years old. For years, she thought it was normal to wake up stiff, only loosening up after a strong coffee and a short walk. It was only after a conversation with her physical therapist that she discovered this was an early sign of wear in her hip joints. With a few simple adjustments, gentle morning stretches, a less inflammatory diet, and professional guidance, everything changed. Stoic philosophy teaches us that pain is part of life, but ignoring it, that is a choice. Choose to listen to your body with attention. And if your day starts with constant stiffness, maybe it's time to look more kindly at your joints. We've all heard our knees or shoulders crack from time to time. These sounds alone don't always signal a problem, but when the cracking is frequent, happens without effort, and is accompanied by pain or discomfort, that's an important red flag. What might be happening is cartilage wear, that protective layer covering the ends of bones that allows our joints to move smoothly. Over time, this cartilage can deteriorate, creating friction between bones. The result? Cracking, pain, and inflammation. Mr. Joachim, 72, used to find the click in his knee amusing whenever he squatted. But when that sound came with pain and trouble standing up, he realized something was different. The diagnosis: chondromalacia patellae, a common and progressive wear condition. Today, with physical therapy and muscle strengthening, he moves again without pain, and almost without cracks. From the Stoic perspective, there's no point denying what is present. We must face reality with courage, without dramatizing, but without self-deception. If your knees, shoulders, or hips are speaking to you, listen. Sometimes a crack is not just a sound, it's a call for attention. Climbing a flight of stairs, getting up from a chair without using your hands. These simple actions, once automatic, begin to require effort, focus, and sometimes even a push with the arms. When basic movements like these become challenging, it's a sign that your knees, hips, or ankles may be losing strength and stability. But the issue isn't always just muscle weakness. Often, this difficulty is due to joint wear, loss of mobility, and pain. Think of Mrs. Irene, 69 years old. She began avoiding stairs, choosing elevators even for just one floor. Sitting and standing from the couch became a planned activity. At first, she thought it was laziness or age-related tiredness, but she discovered that her joints were suffering from silent inflammation and a lack of strengthening. The good news: she started with light, low-impact exercises, changed some dietary habits, and with the right guidance, regained much of her independence. In Stoic philosophy, freedom is not only internal, it's also found in the ability to come and go. And when climbing stairs or standing up begins to hurt, your body is signaling, "Take care of me," before your freedom fades. Have you noticed a knee, ankle, or even a finger that suddenly swells, feels warm to the touch, maybe even a little red? That kind of change isn't just a temporary nuisance. It's a clear sign of active inflammation, and it deserves special attention. Heat and swelling in the joints show that the body is reacting to something, maybe overuse, an injury, or the onset of an inflammatory disease like arthritis. And the danger is that often, this signal comes without intense pain. People see the swelling, feel a strange warmth, but carry on thinking it'll go away. Mr. Almir, 74, had recurring episodes of swelling in his right ankle. He blamed it on summer heat or long walks, until the discomfort worsened, and he discovered uncontrolled gout that had been damaging his joints for years. With simple treatment and dietary adjustments, he not only stopped the progression, but walked again with confidence. The Stoics remind us that what we ignore will cost us later. Noticing swelling or warmth in a joint is more than self-care, it's self-respect. Your body is trying to talk to you. The question is, are you listening? That feeling of no longer being able to tie your shoelaces easily, or reaching overhead and feeling like you've lost range? This might be more than stiffness, it could be a loss of range of motion. This is a silent sign, but one that says a lot about your joint's condition. When they lose mobility, it's because something inside, like the cartilage, ligaments, or even synovial fluid, isn't working as it should. Mr. Vicente, 70, noticed he could no longer turn his head fully to check traffic while driving. It seemed minor, until he discovered early cervical degeneration, which could have been prevented with stretching and light movement earlier in life. Today, through daily gentle exercises and therapy, he regained part of his mobility and feels safer when driving and moving. Stoicism teaches us to accept limitations, but not to resign ourselves to what can be changed. If something is keeping you from moving like before, don't wait for pain to act. Move within your capacity, and over time, you'll see that even what seemed lost can, in part, be restored. A short walk that brings relief is healthy, but when a simple stroll, light cleaning, or even climbing one step becomes painful, it's time to stop and pay closer attention. Pain that worsens with physical effort can be a sign of joint degeneration. It's different from the good muscle pain after exercise. This is a pain that limits, that always shows up in the same spot and intensifies with use, whether it's the knee, hip, or shoulder. Mrs. Nair, 68, noticed that her once pleasant walks in the park started leaving her limping. At first she thought it was just tiredness or bad posture, but the more she insisted, the worse the pain got. The diagnosis: early-stage osteoarthritis, worsened by lack of rest and muscle support. Today, with proper care, she alternates her walks with water aerobics. She learned the secret isn't to stop completely, but to find the balance between effort and recovery. In Stoic thought, resisting pain is not the same as ignoring it. Acting wisely means knowing when to pause, when to care, and when to adapt. True strength lies in respecting your limits and growing within them. Have you ever noticed crooked fingers, knees that bend inward, or hands with swollen joints? These visible changes may not hurt much at first, but they often reflect years of strain, inflammation, or chronic joint wear. Many blame these changes on aging. And yes, time plays a role, but it's not the only factor. These deformities may signal advanced osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or gout, and most importantly, they don't appear overnight. They're the result of small signs that were ignored long ago. Mr. Geraldo, 76, noticed his fingers getting stiff and gradually crooked. He delayed seeking help, thinking, this is just part of getting old. But when holding objects became painful and writing difficult, he knew he could no longer wait. With treatment and therapy, he not only slowed the progression but learned simple exercises to maintain hand function. Stoicism teaches us to observe without judgment. Watching your body change can be uncomfortable, but denying those changes only delays the solution. If you're seeing visible changes in your joints, don't wait for pain to act. Wisdom lies in accepting what we see and caring for what can still be healed. We've reached the end, but really, this could be the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Today we talked about 7 signs that your joints may be weakening, signs that often go unnoticed, hidden in daily routine, fatigue, or the belief that this is just aging. But the truth is, aging doesn't have to come with pain, limitation, or resignation. Quite the opposite. It can be a time of adjustment, awareness, and wise choices, and above all, a time of wisdom. Stoic philosophy reminds us that we can't control the wind, but we can adjust our sails. You may not control time, but you can decide how you move through it, with stiffness or with ease, in pain or in freedom. So if any of these signs resonated with you today, how about taking a step forward, Seek guidance, move with intention, and care for your nutrition. And above all, respect what your body has been trying to tell you. Now tell me, which of these signs have you felt? Or do you know someone who is going through this? Share in the comments. Let's exchange experiences and strengthen this community that chooses to age with dignity, awareness, and action. Like, share this video with someone who needs it, and join us in this journey of living longer with meaning.